This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, along with my co-host for start of our third year, the Primus Tim Hendricks. How you doing, bud?
Happy. I think we've been gone a month. Seems like everything kind of just trickles away, but you know what? Happy third anniversary to you. Second anniversary to you. It's exciting. We still got a lot of stuff in our heads. So this one was kind of brought up from the last time we were on, and Brandon thought it was a good idea. Big B brought it up, and so we kind of ran with it.
Yep, it's kind of like a what if category. Mostly like fictional stuff. If they were real teams and real players and stuff like that, but as you guys know, we kind of break a little bit here. Tim, what is the breaking news for the NFL today?
We got the Cleveland Browns sent Zadarius Smith, their defensive end, to the Detroit Lions. I'm not sure what
the Lions more scary.
That made them even bigger, and he got to replace Aiden Hutchinson, so it's kind of
so next year that defense, if Hutchinson comes back healthy.
And with Zadarius, and especially with Zadarius Smith, I think you've made that an impossible defense to go against. And then just before we came on, we had just got a report that the Carolina Panthers were sending Jonathan Mingo to the Dallas Cowboys for a fourth round pick, their former second round pick. And I completely understand it. If I were the Panthers, I would do the same thing too. I'd start chalking up on mid round draft picks to possibly move up in the drafts.
Yeah, I mean, we do a football show, and you guys will probably talk about the trades on Sunday a little bit, but, there's a couple teams that, may just have to unload and go back to the drawing board and kind of rethink what they're doing. Panthers, one of those teams. So, and then, of course, the other day, the third, the music, the entertainment world lost a very, very big name. I don't think that, many things aren't tied to this guy, especially in the music world, but Quincy Jones, 91, passed away. I mean, we may do a whole show just on Quincy Jones because, we could do TV shows, we could do movies, we could do music, groups, people that he influenced. So that was a big one there. So with that being said, let's get into our list today. Like we said, it's kind of a what if. So we got 3 categories, 10 each. The first one is sport teams, mainly just football and baseball. Fictional teams that, we'll kind of give a brief description on what we think they would do or, if they were a real team. So, Tim? Why don't you? And I don't know. I'm with you. I don't think we're going to have much sniping, but who knows?
I don't know, but anything is possible. We say that we could have no, and then we could find out we have 3, and we purely by accident. So,
all right, so kick it off.
All right, my number 10. I'm starting on the diamond. You watch this movie, and I think there's a lot of. I think this was the baseball movie before all baseball movies. And then I took a team close to where you are. I think you've seen them a couple times. I took a minor league team. So if you're going to take a minor league team, you take another minor league team. And I think because you see the theatrics that this one, the real life baseball team does, I think would have worked great with across the way from another team. I love this, having Kevin Costner as your catcher, Tim Robbins as your pitcher. I think it would have worked amazingly, and just to see what those two teams would have done each other. My number 10 is the Durham Bulls versus the St. Paul Saints.
That would be something. I know somebody's going to say that. Well, the Durham Bulls are a real team. It's just like, yeah, we got it. I'm going to go with a slight little curveball, even though, again, somebody's going to message me and say, oh, that was a real movie, a real life team. But J-Mac reported that 2026 we're going to have a women's professional team. So why not have the Davis's Rockford Peaches roll in and see what they could do. But yeah, I would give a little honor to the women there. So the Rockford Peach, it would be interesting to see what that league in general is going to do. So you're number 9.
My number 9. If I'm not mistaken, this movie they had to shorten it a little bit in the theaters because of a certain action that they had freshmen doing in the middle of the interstate.
Yeah.
And then I had, and then I went with the infamous team that for the real life team I took that I want to see face them because this other team just seemed like it was a band of thugs, and it was great. And I think the perfect team to go up against them was the Cons part of the Cons versus Catholics team, because they just seemed like they were. It's almost like they had watched this movie and thought we could actually be this team. I took the Eastern State University from the program against the 2001 Miami Hurricanes.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. So I got at my number 9. Let's see here. Who would I put these guys up against? I guess this could also go up against your Miami Hurricanes, led by one Adam Sandler, with the group of guys he had. The Mean Machine versus your Gators. All right.
If I have to remember that this was the Miracle team in 2016. I took a team. I took my real life team as a team that hadn't won a World Series and had so many different excuses. Between Bartman and the GOAT and everything like that, and then they finally win the World Series. And I kind of likened it to a baseball team that had Tony Danza as the relief pitcher, Matthew McConaughey as an outfielder.
I forgot he was in that movie.
I love the movie.
I do too.
I took the California Angels from the Angels in the outfield versus the 2016 Chicago Cubs.
We watch that movie. What if, the ghost or spirits like that was able to help a team? That would just be, just mind-boggling, but so my number 8 team is a young team, I think we all have, played schoolyard baseball and stuff like that. I would like to see, as long as the ages lined up, because I think the Jet might have been a little bit older in the movie, but I would like to see the Sandlot play some real life Little League teams and see how they would do.
That'd be awesome. Especially, and the funny thing is, remember the Jet's brother, the guy who played the Jet later in the series in the movie when he's with the Dodgers, is actually the kid's brother.
Yep. Yep.
It's hilarious when you see that, and it's nice. It's a nice little callback.
Yeah. All right, you're number 7 team.
Well, my number 7. Most people would have said I'd have picked a different team to go against this team, but I completely disagree. I think this because of the defense and what one of the real life players did to a player on the real life team. I think would have been crucial, but I think you bring in a lot at the time. I think much like Steve Young was a left-handed quarterback. I bring in, I like Willie Beeman as a black left-handed quarterback going up against what I considered probably the second best defense in the 80s. But I've got the Miami Sharks from any given Sunday versus the 1980 San Francisco 49ers.
Ooh.
And basically because it's the whole Lawrence Taylor versus Joe Montana deal.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Yep. So at number 7, I know this is a college team, but I would like to see what the Mud Dogs would do with the Waterboy at linebacker, and against against a good offense. Like the 49ers, but so that'd be kind of interesting to see how one guy could impact a team like that. You're number 6. You're on mute.
You brought up one player, how much of one player can impact the team, and it's almost like you kind of walked into my next baseball one. To me, I think it's probably one of the greatest baseball movies of all time, and it's because of one player. But to see what he would have done against the Big Red Machine of the 70s would have been amazing to watch. And you got Wilford Brimley as the manager. I've got the New York Knights from The Natural versus the 1970 Cincinnati Reds.
Okay. All right. So I got a team close to home here. Love the movie. I think it would be every kid's dream to be able to run a team, or anybody's dream. But I got the Billy. I can't think of his last name on the movie. But I got the Twins of the Little Big League. And heck, let's put them up against the big team. Let's put them up against the Twins. So, let's see what that team could do. Even over a season, it'd be interesting to see what a team could do with the kid running the show.
Right. Exactly.
So,
make sure I'm
number 5.
Just making sure I'm not muted again. I kind of took the funny thing is you brought up the Mean Machine.
Yep.
And kind of I'm going to give you a snipe on this one because when you realize who I put them up against, I think it's funny. So, I'm going to say it, it's not C2C unless we're sniping. I've got the Texas Federal Prison Mean Machine, but I got them going up against the criminals themselves, the 1990s Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that would be a good one. We brought up a couple college teams. I got another one here. A great movie. They bring back a 30-year-old quarterback to lead the team. They play a lot of 9-man football or whatever they call it. But I'd like to see the Texas State Armadillos going up against, like the Ohio States, the Miami teams, stuff like that. Granted, yeah, if they're playing 11-man football against those teams, are going to get smoked, but it'd be interesting.
Wasn't that that's kind of like what happened when Miami had Chris Winkie.
Yeah.
Winkie was 27 when.
Yeah. All right.
So my number 4, I'm bringing a bit of a new school, going against an old school baseball team. I this is just hilarious when you realize it. I'm taking the Springfield Isotopes. And I'm going to take them and I'm going to put them against Murderers Row with the 1927 New York Yankees. I just you got Hall of Fame, you got Hall of Fame versus Hall of Fame. I think I would love to watch that. I know it's fictional as all get out, but just to see what that would have done, I loved it.
I thought about throwing them on there too, and I'm just like, yeah. My number 4 team, we're going back to Little League. And of course, you got to go with the original Bad News Bears, with the coach that, is a drunk or whatever, but just the misfits of them, just throwing them into a regular Little League and just see how they end up doing.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
All right, you're number 3.
I went with the ultimate college football TV show against one of the greatest college teams of all time. I didn't put a date on it, and believe me, when you realize who it is, you don't put a date because you'll get a lot of questions. But I'm going with Hayden Fox's Minnesota State Screaming Eagles versus the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah. No, that would be a good one. That would be a good one. All right, so we're going into the replacements. So we got the Sentinels. It'd be interesting to see what they could have done in real life football, in that time. And that movie came out, 2000s area?
2002, I think.
So you put them up against like the Brady-led Patriots or, something like that. But it'd be interesting to see what a replacement team could do, with pro athletes.
Yeah.
All right, you're number 2.
I have this feeling I know what your number 1 is because you kind of stole my number 1.
Okay.
I've got the ultimate baseball team, the ultimate baseball game, a team that was inspired by their manager and so they don't move, which is funny because they played most of their games in Milwaukee anyway in the first 2 seasons. And we always ran it on a joke that, that maybe this team should be doing the same thing that the Cleveland Indians did in Major League. I've got the Major League Cleveland Indians versus the 2024 Chicago White Sox.
At number 2, I have those same Indians. Yeah. I mean, just think you go in to the meetings and you're looking at the list to build your team because, the owner wants to move. And you're like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And, you bring them all in and try to get them to mesh and to make the playoffs the first year together. I mean, that would just be remarkable. But, that would be a good matchup there. So, you're number 1.
Well, my number 1, I've said it before, it's not C2C unless we're sniping. The funny thing is when you said the Washington Sentinels, I thought, that'd be great. But I had a specific team that they should play,
okay,
which is hilarious because, the Washington Sentinels took place during a strike-shortened season.
Oh.
Well, the 1987 Washington Redskins won a Super Bowl during a strike-shortened season. So I thought it'd be cool to put the Sentinels versus the Redskins.
All right. So my number 1 team, a very good movie. I think I would have liked to see them come out with the second one, but I don't think they will now, and they shouldn't now because it's over. But your number 7 team, the Sharks, I'd like to see them go up against, like the 85 Bears or a dominant defense like that. But Willie Beeman, LL Cool J.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the comedian that was a receiver.
Bill Bellamy was part of that
group. Bill Bellamy, Lawrence Taylor on the defensive side. They also had another guy that played in a college movie too. as a linebacker.
The guy who played in the program. The guy.
Yeah, the program. Yeah, they had him in there, and then of course you had the all coach of all coaches.
Al Pacino. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that would have been a good one. So
I think we hit 4. I think I'm looking at this going 3, 4.
I think we hit 3 or 4. Yeah.
I think we hit 4.
Yeah, we did really good. So let's move over to the squared circle. This one will be interesting. 10 fictional boxers, wrestlers. There's one I should have put on here. Now that I think about it.
Funny thing is, it's probably one I've got. That's the funny thing.
So we'll just go roll with it. I mean, I have a feeling, because the reason why we brought this topic up, we will get one for sure.
I think we know what our number 1 is at this point.
Yeah. So I am going to go at number 10. I'm going to go with a 2-sport athlete in his fictional TV or in his TV show. He was a quarterback, but I think he would have been pretty decent. Matter of fact, they did a show where they pretended to be what they wanted to be, and AC Slater came back at high school as a professional wrestler dressed up as Hulk Hogan. So I would like to see what AC would have done if that character was real and was good as he was, to see if he could have handled maybe the Olympics or in the ring.
That was a weird thing, because I think Saved by the Bell, he was actually a freestyle. I think he wrestled in high school.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wrestled in high school.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So I thought it was cool that you started in wrestling. So I'm going to start in wrestling just to make you feel comfortable. I think this match would be great because once and for all we can figure out who the real king is. I keep thinking, I've seen Jerry Lawler at a pay-per-view. I didn't see him wrestle, but when I think of a guy who I would have never thought should have been in a wrestling movie, I would never have believed that Oliver Platt would have played a wrestler. And the only reason why David Arquette actually has a title reign in WCW. But I want to see Jimmy King take on Jerry the King Lawler.
Yep, that'd be a good one. Like you said, it'd be definitely find out who the king is. By number 9, we go to staying in the square circle, and my number 9, I would like to see him go up against Otis, and that is the revolving blob from the movie Billy Madison.
Oh man, wow, that's a good one. I forgot all about him. That is a real good one.
Yeah. You're number 9.
All right, my number 9. You played video games younger. I know because we've played.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to. I don't think, and the funny thing is, I think 2 people from this game is actually on my list. One is a real character. One is real. The other one's fake. But you always remember there was always in Tyson's Punch-Out, there was always one character that was always bigger. And then all of a sudden I started watching Friday Night Fights on USA. And there was a guy that could have easily played him if there was a Mike Tyson Punch-Out movie. I want to see King Hippo fight Butterbean.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, that's a good one. This one I haven't seen, but when I was doing research, this one popped up. And so I'm just like, I may have to look up this movie, kind of watch it a little bit just to see. But it's the movie, the One and Only, and there's a wrestler in there called The Lover that's played by Henry Winkler. So I would like to see what that movie's about. And could you see Henry Winkler as a wrestler or a boxer?
That'd be weird.
Yeah, that would be. So, all right, you're number 8.
My number 8. And I'm going to get crap for this because somebody's going to say, well, that kind of happened. That's fine. It can kind of happen all at once, but it didn't happen with this guy being this name. So it's kind of funny because we kind of brought it up backstage. There was a movie with Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst, the Spider-Man and Mary Jane Watson. But everybody, if everybody knows kind of the origins of Spider-Man, the reason why Spider-Man got his name Spider-Man is because he got into the ring with a wrestler. The wrestler's name is Bonesaw McGraw. Bonesaw McGraw, of course, was played by Macho Man Randy Savage. I want to see Bonesaw McGraw versus Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that would be a good one. So, my number 7, you kind of just alluded to who I'm thinking of, but in the Rocky 3, I think it was. Rocky faced Thunder Lips, who played by Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see Hulk Hogan and Thunder Lips actually throw down. If it was possible.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
So you're number 7.
My number 7. There's this little movie about a boxer who has to go through all these people. A movie called Digstown. Yep. Just happened to be one of my other friends' favorite movies because he loved the movie. And and the reason why I'm putting this guy on the list is because it was all about longevity and why he's fighting the fighter that I've got against. They're both heavyweights, so it works just fine. The real boxer is Jack Dempsey. I think Jack Dempsey, because Jack Dempsey used to, back in the time where there was no round limits and he just fought until somebody fell over, basically. And this is what made me think of Louis Gossett Jr.'s character in Digstown. So against Jack Dempsey, I've got Honey Roy Palmer from Digstown.
Okay. Well, the phrase that pays pops up here at number 6. I have Bonesaw McGraw. I'd like to see him. He was a wild guy, so maybe like a guy like Mick Foley or Terry Funk, and just just go destroy him. So
yeah.
All right, you're number 4. All right, you're number 6.
My number 6. Well, I never thought I'd put a Lucha Libre on my list, and I've done it here. I put the living legend Rey Mysterio on my list, but it's the guy who he's wrestling, and I'm almost guaranteeing you've watched the movie. I love the actor that portrays this guy, but the fact is he had to learn Lucha Libre style, which is funny because the guy is all of like 5'7", 5'6", and weighs about 235, 240 pounds. Jack, if you're watching the show, I apologize if I'm completely wrong. But I've got Nacho Libre versus Rey Mysterio.
At number 5, I got that Nacho Libre versus, any luchador, because like you said, Jack Black's not a lucha libre, but he's a so I mean, but even nowadays, the big wrestlers, I mean, like Nacho Libre versus Kevin Owens would even be a good one, because they can fly around.
Right.
So, all right, you're number 4.
All right, and the funny thing is another reason why I thought of this of this one was the fact is that I thought of George Foreman later in his career, how he wasn't in the world's greatest shape, but yet for some reason he was winning. Yeah. It reminded me of the movie The Great White Hype. Great White Hope. Great White Hope. No, Great White Hype. Great White Hope was the one with James Earl Jones. That would be completely wrong. This was The Great White Hype. And I'm not gonna go with the white guy. No. I remember Damon Wayans' character in that movie where he looked like he wasn't at all in shape. And I'm like, this guy's got nowhere close. And I'm like, this guy, and then he comes in and he just basically hits him with one hand, with an overhand right, and it's over. So I've got George Foreman taking on James the Grim Reaper Roper.
All right. My number 4, you hit it right off the bat right away with your number 10. Jimmy the King versus Jerry Lawler. I mean, Battle of the Kings for sure. I mean, so your number 4.
My number 4. I couldn't put this list together without this number 4. And it's kind of funny because we kind of alluded to the movie that it comes from with the Mud Dogs of Southwest Louisiana State University. And the favorite wrestler of Bobby Boucher. But you got to put him up against somebody big. And, everybody would say you can't put him up against. So I got him against Andre the Giant. And I got Captain Nthano versus Andre the Giant.
I thought about putting that one up there, too. That's a good one. My number 3, which, a few years ago, we almost had this possibly as a match because we promoted it at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And he jumped the barricade, but I'd like to see Ram for the wrestler versus Y2J.
Yeah, okay, I got to double check here. Okay, go ahead. Okay. I haven't hit any of your. Wow. Okay, cool. Yeah. Did you say who did you have taking on Thunderlips?
I would have had Hogan versus Hogan.
Oh, Hogan versus Hogan match. Great. Awesome. So I don't feel so bad.
I mean, honestly, that one could have been a 3-way too, because you also got ripped from No Holds Bar. I mean, that would have been a kind of a cool one.
That'd have been weird. That'd be like the 3 faces of Foley. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3. I can't say that I sniped you then at this point. I've got this guy going against Mike Tyson because he took a beating and 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 still found a way to win. I'm like, yeah, the first movie we ever saw this character in, he loses to Apollo Creed. In the basically the main event of the movie, but he seems to win every other time. But I got Rocky Balboa versus Mike Tyson.
All right. So my number 2, we are going to go with the younger. I think this is going to be a Rocky theme now, but I'm going to go with Creed versus Merriweather.
Ooh. Problem is, I think Mayweather gets killed.
Well, yeah, I hope so. I mean,
because this is where the roundtable discussion comes. Yep. Because I think Adonis is quicker.
Yep.
He's more powerful.
I would say Merriweather is probably quicker, but yeah, Creed is definitely.
But the thing is, Adonis knows how to cut the ring off. Adonis will cut the ring off quicker, so he's faster laterally. Where where Mayweather will get tired out. I think Adonis wins that match, but that's just me. Well, I'm gonna say it at number 2, but you got half my match. But it's the phrase that pays. My number 2 is Randy the Ram Robinson versus, but I've got Bret Hart. You got Y2J. I've got Bret Hart. I'm going technician for technician.
Ooh, that would be a good one. Yeah. All right. Well,
go ahead and say it.
Why we did this? We brought it up for whatever reason. Apollo Creed versus Muhammad Ali. I mean, what can we say? So
they both talk. You might as well go ahead and throw it up there because that's my number 1 as well. They both talk. They both patient. They both have power. They know how to. It's like, again, the first Rocky movie. You saw how Apollo knew how to wear him down, just let him punch himself up for a while, and Muhammad was and Ali was the same way.
Yep. So, all right. So let's get into our last category here of 10. This is now we're going to just random sports, but I just did football and baseball. But
So I got football and baseball, but I've got one little sneaker in there.
Oh, I have one too. So we're taking a player and putting them in. So a fictional player and throwing them into the pros. So, well, go ahead there, Tim, and let's kick it off.
All right. I like the characters that Wesley Snipes plays. Everybody remembers him in Major League, but Willie Mays Hayes was a guy who was was speed, but that's not the guy that he wasn't the complete player that he played later in the movie called The Fan. I would love to see Billy Rayburn from The Fan take and have a couple at bats against Roger Clemens.
Ooh, that would be good. That would be good. Yeah, that's a good one. My number 10, his thing was that he could get out any major league team in 3 innings. I would like to see Brewster's Millions versus any Yankee lineup.
I forgot about Brewster. I really did.
All right, you're number 9.
I'm for some reason I got a lot of baseball, which is fine. I kind of brought up Kevin Costner earlier in Bull Durham, but I'm going away from Bull Durham. I'm going to the movie where he pitches. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he pitches a perfect game in this movie.
Yeah, that's the name of the movie.
Right, for the love of the game. But I got him going against a guy who's the first 50-50 guy.
Ooh.
And we'll see if he actually can take care of Shohei Ohtani. I've got Billy Chappell For the Love of the Game.
All right. So I'm going to go with my number 9. 2-sport athlete, but we're going to play him at quarterback. I would like to see him face a mean rush of like the 85 Bears. I got AC Slater as quarterback, facing a good rush and see how he could do.
Yeah, AC Slater. Wow. Okay.
All right.
You must have watched a lot of Saved by the Bell, more than I did. My number 8. I love this movie, not because it brings up the Milwaukee Brewers, but I thought it was a fun movie, and I'm a big Bernie Mac fan, so I love this movie, and I thought it was amazing to watch. And but to see him, and I had a picture that I had him going up against. I got him going up against Randy Johnson.
Ooh.
I've got number
lefty.
Huh?
Lefty versus lefty.
Mr. 3000 himself, Stan Ross.
All right. So you kind of brought up a big fictional team in your baseball one. I'm going to bring up, I know this would never happen, but what if, and we'll take the movie Gus, you get an animal to play a sport, like Gus kicking or something, or the dog from Air Bud making baskets, or there was a movie with the monkey in there, catching passes or something, or hockey. But yeah, at number 8, I got Gus, but like any animal, playing a pro sport.
You dug deep on that one. That's impressive.
I pulled out a Tim curveball on Tim himself.
Yeah, that's not the curveball I was going with, but that's impressive. My number 7, we kind of touch on it. We talk about how this man needs tackling fuel. He's a tackling machine for the repeated Southwestern Louisiana State University Mud Dogs. Bobby Boucher was a hell of a pass rusher, but I want to see him go up against Larry Allen.
Oh yeah, that would be a good one. All right. So you brought up the movie Bull Durham.
I did.
Yeah. But you went with Cosner's movie in For the Love of the Game. I'm going with the pitcher and Bull Durham. I'm going with Meat, and I'd like to see him go up against Oe.
With Otani?
Yeah. With his fastball.
Yeah. I'd love to see it. Oh wow, that was actually really good. All right, my number 6. We don't do high school, but I did this time. I always remember this, and it's funny because he parodies himself later in not in Not Another Teen Movie where they count his concussions. But how big he was, I put him up against one of the biggest defensive linemen in NFL history. I want to see Billy Bob from Varsity Blues go up against William Perry.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be something. I forgot about that match. That'd be a good matchup, yeah. So I brought him up in my football teams. You kind of brought up Chris Wanke, but I'd like to see Paul Blake at the age that he enlisted into college go up against some of the young guns.
Yeah.
And try to maneuver around them.
Yeah, Paul Blake. I can never at that point I'd have taken a kicker at this point. Yeah. I think you guys would have loved to have the kicker this weekend after what happened to yours.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we've kind of brought this team up a couple times. I know I brought them up. I think we both brought them up in the team. I brought them up by names. We know you got a left-handed quarterback, a mobile left-handed quarterback, and I kind of with his mobility, I kind of reminds me a little bit of Michael Vick. I'd like to see J.J. Watt go up against Willie Beeman.
Yeah. So, all right, my number 5. The actor himself is like a two-sport athlete, but but I'd like to see him in baseball. I'd like to see him on the field, and I'd like to see him try and steal bases on like Pudge Rodriguez or something. And that is Vinny the Jet.
Oh, Vinny the Jet. Oh man, I thought you were going to say Willie B. I thought you were going to say Willie Mays Hayes. I'm going, wow, we really like.
Willie Mays would have been a good one too, but
I was trying to figure out who I would put up against. Who I was trying to get that base stealer against, like Yadier Molina or somebody.
Yeah.
I could never figure it out who I wanted to do it, and then I thought Willie Mays Hayes would be great, but then I thought he was more complete player in the Fan as yeah, and it's just like as Billy Rayburn. I just couldn't get myself past Billy Rayburn.
All right.
So my number 4. Again, I have now brought up high school twice in this in this version. And I'm going to a 1980s kind of a horror comedy with a guy who probably, and the funny thing is they remade the movie into a TV show on MTV. And they made it a little more darker. Yeah, you're thinking right now. That's okay. The main character is played by Michael J. Fox. And I thought, and he was trying to make the basketball team in high school, and I thought, I really thought it would have been cool. I want to see Scott Howard from Teen Wolf go up against Isaiah Thomas.
Actually, but then if you get him into the Wolf, I'd like to see that go up against like Sean Kemp.
Kemp? Oh, that'd been awesome.
Yeah, him as the Wolf.
Yeah.
All right, so we're at number 4. So we're going back to baseball. This is another guy that could probably face Otani, but I'd like to see him go up against like Judd or Stanton, and I'd like to see how Rick Vaughn's Terminator would go up against those guys.
The see you later.
Yeah.
Well,
the mashed potato.
The mashed potato. Not today. And the funny thing is that everybody remembers the main guy, the main guy from the New York Yankees in the first one. Funny thing is he never took swings in the major leagues in real life because that was Pete Vukovich for Milwaukee. He was a Cy Young Award winning pitcher in '87.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now go ahead. It's the phrase that pays. My number 3 is Rick Vaughn as well, but I got him against Babe Ruth.
Ooh, okay. All right, well, we'll go with the phrase that pays once again. The Water Boy, going up and get some of those offensive linemen to try to get through there, So, yeah, you're number 2.
My number 2. This is where my curveball comes in. This is where the little not expecting is. Didn't think we'd go to golf, but when I thought of this individual thing, I thought golf had to be done, and it needed to be done properly. We've had Adam Sandler on our list once or twice. I figured why not put him up against the Tiger himself. I've got Happy Gilmore versus Tiger Woods.
That is a good one. The phrase that pays.
You got Happy Gilmore too?
Sweet. No, I don't. No, but I love this movie. I love the quarterback. I love the person that played the quarterback.
Beeman.
I would like to see Willie Beeman going up against, like you said, Watt.
Lawrence Taylor for real.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, definitely Willie Beeman. You're number 1.
My number 1, I know is not your number 1. If it is, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. This was the guy that was automatic for me when this list was discussed, and I thought, the guy who was a complete player, heck, he was the natural, like the title says. I would love to have seen Roy Hobbs, but I want to see Roy Hobbs versus the professor himself. I want to see him go up against Greg Maddux.
Nope, not my guy. Because I'm going to baseball, and I'm going with the slugger that, needed a little voodoo magic.
Oh no!
I would like to see Serrano go up against like Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, somebody that just had heat. And just see how that battle goes.
Like you went as soon as you said that, I went, oh no, he went. I love this movie. I'm going, well, he's already got Rick Vaughn on there. He's not putting Roger Dorn on there. He's not putting Willie Mays Hayes on there. I'm thinking, oh, he didn't go.
Willie Mays would have been a good one, like you said. Like I would even do a defensive battle with Willie Mays and Ken Griffey Jr. to see how much territory they cover.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So to close it out here, I am going to go to the billboard.com and with Quincy Jones, and we will have to think of something to do for a show for him. But they got a ranking of Quincy Jones' top 20 Billboard hits.
Ooh.
Okay. At number 20.
20. Oh, we got time to kill.
Peaked at December 7th, 1963. She's a Fool.
She's a Fool. Oh, gosh. Now I got to remember.
The highest they got was at number 5 for that one.
What was that? The Isley Brothers?
Leslie Gore.
Okay.
At number 19, I kind of peeked at this one. This was a joke because I think this is one of the singer's best songs. It should be ranked higher. And it peaked at March 3rd, 1984 at number 4. Michael Jackson's The Thriller.
Yeah.
At number 18, September 24th, 1977, peaked at number 5, the Bronson Johnson's Strawberry Letters 23.
Wow.
At 17, peaked at July 16th, 1983 at number 5. Another Michael Jackson hit. Wanna be starting something.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. These next ones should be really freaking good.
Yeah. At 16, June 1st, 1964, it peaked at number 2. Leslie Gore's You Don't Own Me.
You don't own me.
Yeah. At 15, it peaked at number 4 in 1980 on September 27th. George Benson's Give Me the Night.
Okay.
At 14, peaked at number 1, October 13th, 1979. Michael Jackson's Don't Stop Till You Get Enough.
Don't stop till you get enough. Yeah, that deserves it. Yeah, but I think it should be higher. But then again, these should be monsters at this point.
Yeah. Peaked July 2nd, 1988. Number 1, it peaked at Michael Jackson's Dirty Diane.
At this point, Michael Jackson should be Michael Jackson should have thanked a lot for his career at this point.
Yeah. At number 12, October 24th, 1987, it peaked at number 1 for 2 weeks. Bad by Michael Jackson.
It's proving my point at this point.
Yeah. But Thriller, I think, still should have been way higher.
Oh, Thriller should be way higher.
At number 11,
it shouldn't be behind it. Shouldn't be behind a song that was number 1 for 2 weeks.
Yeah. July 10th, 1976, it peaked at number 3. The Brothers Johnsons, I'll Be Good to You. Wow. At number 10, we're in the top 10. Peaked at number 1, 1987, September 19th.
Beat it.
Michael Jackson's I Just Can't Stop Loving You.
Wow.
Yeah,
that Thriller should be higher than that song, period.
Yeah. At number 9, it also peaked at 2 weeks at number 1, 1963, July 1st. Leslie Gore's It's My Party.
It's my party and I'll cry if I want to.
At number 8, it peaked at number 1, July 23rd, 1988. The Way I Make You Feel by Michael Jackson. One of my personal favorites. I love that song.
I love that song. It's right where it should be, I think.
Yep. I'd probably go a little higher, but at number 7, July 8th, 1983, or January 8th, 1983, peaked at number 2. Michael Jackson, Paul McCartney, The Girl Is Mine. Another good song.
But it should be behind, like you. It should be behind Thriller and The Way You Make Me Feel.
Yep.
It's me.
Another song here, March 26th. We're at number 6, 1988. It also peaked at number 1 for 2 weeks. Michael Jackson's The Man in the Mirror. Like the song, but it should be down further. And like you said, it was only at number 1 for 2 weeks. You got it at number 6. I mean,
yeah, I understand it, but it's just 2 weeks.
Yeah. At number 5, at number 1 for 2 weeks, February. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, stupid ads. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, there it is. Oh, in the mirror. All right. At number 5, February 19, 1983, Patty Austin with James Ingram, Baby Come to Me.
Wow.
Number 4. This one was at number 1 for 4 weeks. January 19th, 1980, it peaked at Michael Jackson's Rock With You.
I'm sorry. That song gets stuck in my head. So 3 is at a good spot.
Oh, 4. It's at 4.
4, 3.
It does get stuck with you. Number 3. It was only at number 1 for 3 weeks. Peaked April 30th, 1983. Michael Jackson's Beat It.
That should be higher, but
at number.
Ooh. We're on 2, and I don't think you agree with this.
Oh, at number 2, it was at number 1 for 4 weeks. April 13th, 1985, it peaked. This song, I think, should be his number 1. We Are the World.
Oh, wow. That's wow.
And just the meaning behind that, getting all those actors together.
Him and Lionel Richie, yeah, I both writing that song. Yeah, I don't Michael and Michael and Lionel writing that song.
And then just getting everybody in there and just doing it.
Have you seen the documentary to it?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's an amazing documentary.
And I do like this song, but again, I think Thriller is way low. At number one, peaked at number one for 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
March 5th, 1983, it was his highest. Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. So that is.
Ooh, that one. I like one. I think if you, to me, and I'm going to say this, you flip flop 1 and 2. I think you're good.
1 and 2, you're better. I mean, Thriller being down at 19 kind of hurt.
Kind of hurts. I think that should be a 5 song at this point.
Yeah, that should be a top 5 song.
We Are the World should be number 1.
Yeah.
Billie Jean should be number 2. No Smooth Criminal on there.
Nope, no Smooth Criminal.
I don't think he did Smooth Criminal. I know it was on the album, but I don't think he produced that one.
Yeah, he might not have. So with Zach just coming in here, I don't know if this is really big breaking news, but Zach Moss is injured, so Cincinnati has acquired Caleb Herbert to fill in the backfield. So I just saw that.
Yeah, he got like he had a neck injury pop up like early last week. Okay. And the thing is, he had that same problem last week. He had it last year with Indy. So it's not a he had that broken forearm, but he also had a problem with his neck. So it's not an unusual injury for him.
Yeah, what's up, Kevin? How you doing today, bud? We're just finishing up our show here. Hopefully you go back and rewatch the replay here. Tim,
and tell us how we did wrong.
Final thoughts for our debut episode for year 3.
Yeah, hopefully we've got a lot of surprises and great topics that we can go over. Kevin, if you got any ideas of what topics that you would like us to do, don't be afraid to shoot Brandon a list, shoot me a list. Outside of that, don't be afraid to go out and vote. Today's election day. I know we're not a political show, but that doesn't mean you don't do your civic duty of voting. Outside of that, you see me and half of Brandon, which is still a lot of Brandon, on Sunday for morning tailgate. And then we're right back here on Tuesday for the second episode of our 3rd year.
Yep. Hopefully, things settle down for all of our hosts because, we get Sports Minute back. On Deck, I think, finished up their last show. Congrats to the Dodgers for getting the gentleman's sweep over the Yankees. You got morning tailgate, like Tim said. We'll break down today's trade deadline stuff. Who knows if there's a lot going on? Maybe tonight we might have a trade show update. Go over all the trades.
I'll be awake watching the polls come in for the election. Yeah. So who knows?
Between the rope on Sundays, we could talk about the cards we missed and stuff like that. But with that being said, we'll see you guys all next week on C2C Rankem. Have a good one.